Hi, I'm Carly Bullock, and this is my presentation on functional analysis procedures. Today we're going to discuss what a functional analysis is, why we use them, and the conditions that are included in functional analysis procedures. A functional analysis is a strategy that we use in ABA where we look at the antecedent and consequence contingencies in order to better understand the function of a problematic behavior. It usually occurs in a really controlled environment so that we can better understand the function of that behavior in order to implement intervention strategies that work in order to diminish those behaviors. There are 5 conditions involved in a functional analysis. We have play, which is usually our control, alone, escape, tangible, and attention. Let's take a closer look at each of these conditions, the motivating operations and consequences behind them. In our play condition, the student is allowed to access toys to play with freely, and social attention is provided. These could all be considered pretty motivating for a student, and they're considered antecedents in our 3-part contingency. The consequences for problem behavior in a play condition would just be to completely ignore a problem behavior or neutrally redirect it. The stakes are pretty low in a play condition, and this allows us to really observe behaviors that may occur spontaneously so that we can effectively plan strategies for intervention. In the alone condition, any stimulation in the environment is very minimal. So we aren't placing any task demands on the student, and there aren't really any play materials present. Any problematic behavior displayed in the alone condition would be completely ignored or very neutrally redirected. For our escape condition, the antecedent would be placing a 3-step demand on the student. This could include giving a task like folding a towel. We would give a verbal command, then the practitioner could model folding the towel, and then finally providing hand-over-hand assistance to complete the task. So we're kind of like leveling up each demand that we're placing on the student to kind of look for any escape behaviors or functions of an escape behavior that may occur. The consequence for any problem behavior displayed in this condition, would be to provide breaks from a task by removing the task materials and by lowering the demands. So we're taking away our prompts. We're kind of giving them less demands to see is this behavior going to diminish or go away, which would tell us, hey, the function of this behavior is likely escape for the student. With our tangible condition, the antecedents would be to have the student, allowing the student open access to a moderately preferred toy or activity. So this is nothing that's like highly preferred, but it's just something that they might like. The practitioner would remove the toy or activity by taking it and saying something like, it's my turn. And then the consequence in this condition would be to give the toy back. So this allows us to observe whether the problematic behaviors are due to the accessibility of getting something taken away from the student or access to a tangible. During the attention condition, the antecedent is that attention is diverted or withheld from the student. We aren't really paying any attention to what they're doing. And then in the consequence contingency, attention is being provided, but it's not necessarily positive attention. It's attention maybe in the form of subtle reprimands, like don't do that, you could hurt someone. It's not necessarily a positive thing. Like anything science related, it's always appropriate to understand that there will always be advantages and limitations to anything. For functional analyses, the pros are pretty big as practitioners were able to pinpoint the function of a problematic behavior and better understand effective positive reinforcement, which also minimizes the use of punishment. The limitations in this would include it being a very controlled setting, where FAs usually take place, although we are seeing them occur more in natural settings. The misuse of FAs in functional behavior assessments by people that don't fully understand the process, and potential for an increase in unwanted behaviors.